Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Sports are all about teamwork, and so is insurance. Whether you need an in-person or digital assist, State Farm is there to help you choose the right coverage for your home, car, and more. Get a game plan that helps fit your life and talk to State Farm today. State Farm with the assist. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability and eligibility vary by state.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Finding a new job is stressful. But with Indeed, it doesn't have to be. Just fill out your Indeed profile with your skills, experience, and desired salary. The more you fill out, the better your matches will be. And hearing from hiring managers will be 2 times more likely. Relax. That's your Indeed profile sending opportunities your way. Indeed, the world can work better.
Fellas, we've reached that part of the calendar where the walk from the door to the car or vice versa is so draining. Draining your energy and your body's hydration low. I was in the low 90s, walked outside, and let me tell you, my forearms immediately started sweating. I love the summer because I grew up in the winter. I hate the winter, so I would take whatever beating the sun wants to give me. But Jesus, DeAndre Christ, it is a lot. But we're not here to talk about this part of the calendar. We're here to talk about the part of the calendar that's 89 days away. That's kickoff of Monday Night Football, Dave. How you doing?
That's right. I can't wait. It's going to be a blast.
Happy Mike Dicker Day. Number 89.
Hey, I love Mike Dick. Football man's man. Mike Ditka was cool. Now, he called playing in the Metrodome, playing in the Roller Dome, but that was cool. We still beat him.
For you, Dave, in your case, maybe Mike Jones Day. Remember him?
Name is familiar, but nothing off the top of my head. No.
I think Dan Campbell wore 89.
Wow, Dan Campbell did wear number 89 when he was with the Lions. Spunky Dave Campbell. Let's start there, though. Dan, he talked to the media last week as you all were opening your mini camp. He said, and I quote, "We've gotten to where we've gotten because we haven't been complacent. And we have gone and put in the work again and again and again and done all the little things that you have to do to win games and to win a division. And so we got to do that all over again." Foster, I know that's got you hyped because, you know, Dan is a guy that can get you hyped. Even when he's out there doing up downs with the team and just how he speaks into the microphone, he is a hype dude. But what else is coming out of Detroit for the Lions? What other news are you reporting from minicamp and off season so far?
Well, the word around camp is that the defense is ahead of the offense right now. I suspect that some of that might have something to do with just the new additions to the offensive line and the moving around that is going on as we try to figure out who is going to be the everyday players at those integral positions on the inside. But obviously continuity is important. The defense is returning 10 starters from last year. So they, at this point should be pretty comfortable with each other. So, not to be worried. I mean, as long as the Lions teams were even halfway good, the offense was the side that was the strength. So, from the Barry Sanders years to the, and Herman Moore to the Calvin Johnson. So it would be nice to see the defense, hold up their end of the bargain. But guys like Ennis Registraw in the secondary are making a lot of noise right now. Terrion Arnold has been held out of OTA, so he's getting a lot more reps. To the point about Dan Campbell, he's kind of embracing this gauntlet of a schedule that we have. He described it as perfect and going to line up exactly the way he wants it to. So, like you said, talking about complacency and always striving for to get better. That's the mentality that, of course, you would have to go in. Would have to have going into a season where you want to continue to get better and excel to be, to get to that next level. But as far as other camp standouts, Sam Laporta, who had a really strong rookie season, a little bit of a decline in the second year because he was dealing with injuries. But Amon-Ra St. Brown has actually had surgery this offseason, so he hasn't been present. So it's opened up some opportunities for Laporta to get back out there, which is a guy that maybe you forget about when you think about St. Brown, J-Mo, Gibbs, Montgomery, amongst other names. You forget that we have a borderline Pro Bowl tight end as well that should be getting a lot of targets this year.
What's your count on a lot of targets?
Well, I don't know.
100, 400, 600?
No, not we love our tight ends, not quite to that level, but enough to keep him busy.
No, you're gonna have to put a number on enough there, Foster. Come on now.
Oh, this is a specific question. I mean, I don't even know. I'd have to look and see how many.
You said enough. That enough's too vague.
Yeah, that is vague. I mean, I'd have to see how many actual receptions he got last year, but 85 targets.
Just 85? That seems low.
That seems low. How many
Uh-huh.
receptions he had last year?
That's.
You're talking.
He had 60 catches.
He had about
last
85
year.
catches last year. So.
Uh-huh.
Well, he had 85 his rookie.
Okay.
86 his rookie year. So I don't know. It's the touchdowns that matter the most for tight ends. I mean, we all know St. Brown's going to get well over 100 targets.
Okay.
And,
Now he was.
J-Mo is going to get a ton of targets as well. So
Sam Laporta, according to Sumer Sports, had 60 catches last year and on 421 routes run. So not too bad. The most for a tight end was Brock Bowers of the Raiders, 112 receptions.
Oh, yeah. That's all they had to throw to, really, though. Oh, well, no, they had Devontae Adams. I'm tripping, but.
For tight ends. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, right. I was just saying as far as the Raiders is concerned. I mean, Bowers was like a Pro Bowler, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. And just for viewers' knowledge, George Kittle was third with 78. So that puts, if you have a tight end that you're hyping up, i.e. TJ Hawkinson, I expect him to be in that 70 range, hopefully. But he's not our only tight end, so.
Speaking of TJ Hawkinson, speaking of TJ and all the tight ends you got up there in Minnesota, Dave, I'm hearing great things about Dallas Turner. what else are you hearing coming out of minicamp for Minnesota Vikings?
Well, Dallas Turner has, when we talked about him last year, we said he needs to bulk up. Well, all you got to do is look at a picture of him. He's bulked up. And with Dallas, he had a great day, not today, but I want to say it was yesterday, Tuesday, first day of mandatory minicamp. He dropped back in pass coverage and just caused absolute fits. He's taken on more the Andrew Van Ginkel role, where he's going back in coverage as well as doing the edge rushing thing. And he just made life miserable for, it was, I think, Ben Urasek, a tight end that we signed. And it was fun. He was kept in his hip pocket. It was great. Dallas Turner, I expect now, because he becomes edge 3, which Brian Flores considers a starter. He likes to start. He said it in his press conference on Tuesday. He likes to have 3 edge players starting, which is weird when you think about the geography of that, or the geometry of that. But he likes to have 3, and he's going to have him there. I suspect he's probably going to have 400 to 500, 600 maybe snaps if nobody gets hurt. He's going to be a major part of that rotation. And that rotation, they're calling a wave attack, where they want to send waves upon waves upon waves of defenders at opposing offenses to wear them down. And we built up the depth for, in virtually every position, defensive back may be questionable, but almost every position, to where they could rotate guys out, but especially on the D line and the front 7, the linebackers included. And he's going to be a huge, huge part of that. And Dallas Turner, he's got that funky bend around the corner that works great. He does have a power move, but it's a combination sort of deal. I can't wait to see him. And question is, will he get double-digit sacks this year? And if he gets, 400 to 600 snaps, he could very well do that. And the Vikings fans will be happy, because most of them think we paid too much for him or traded too much for him, but I think it was fine. But we'll see. Now, for the rest of OTAs, there's nothing about, except for glorious, glorious comments about how J.J. McCarthy is just winging it. And he's going to make the whole division embarrassed, because he's on fire, and it's early, and we can't wait till we get to August and September and October. But the biggest news out of training camp yesterday was we saw on the field practicing Christian Darrisaw. CD tore his ACL last season, mid-season. Had his leg rolled up on, tore his ACL. I think it was against the Rams the first game. And it was going to be questionable whether he's ready for week 1. Well, as of yesterday, now he had a huge brace on, which is fine, but he was doing individual and team drills. And it was a delight to see for Vikings fans, because he is one big man that we won in there this season.
Darrisaw is your left tackle that you had prior to trading for, I forget who was it you traded for mid-season last year? That played very well in Darrisaw. Hey,
Cam Robinson.
Okay, yeah. So it's good news. Cam. It's good news that Darrisaw is on his way back. Devastating injury that left tackle should never get injured in that fashion. That could be disastrous for their career. So
I rolled up on. It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing you can do about it.
It happens too often, but it's football, right? All right. So before we get to the Green Bay portion, let's talk about the Chicago Bears, what they got going on. As most of you all are aware, the Bears had their minicamp last week. Well, the mandatory minicamp for veterans was last week. This week they've got mandatory minicamp for rookies and second-year players. The note from that is that it had a large turnout. There was no notable absences in either camp. In fact, for the whole OTA program, as for the Bears, Ben Johnson, he's expressing satisfaction with all the progress being made, and they're stating that they are meeting objectives to this point, phase 1 and phase 2, and of all the off-season programs. He also believes that the players now understand that there's an expectation level, and have stated that they need to show up, not necessarily need to show up, but they need to be around each other, get into the program, so you can build trust with each other and the coaching staff. And, and that's how you build a winner. I said this, I think 3 weeks in a row now. You don't get to have been the offensive coordinator for the best team in the conference, the division and the conference for the most part, without drilling in the expectations and meeting the challenge where it's set. He's also emphasized the team is right on track for this point of the summer. Caleb Williams, he said that he's been terrific, and he needs all his he's been very positive of praising praising Caleb. What they do want to work on is getting him to play. How do I phrase this? Bring more of that off script magic that he has, that he's been doing a lot in the off season stuff. Bringing more to that into the scheduled stuff, and that just comes from repetition, right? There has been some things from Ben Johnson that he has not liked, and specifically that is the absence of Luther Burden, the Bears' second-round draft pick. He expressed concerns about that. As you all know, or may not know, Burton had a soft tissue injury during the first rookie minicamp, and he's missed all 3 weeks of OTAs and the mandatory minicamp that is going on now. Ben Johnson, he's not happy about it. He's frustrated I just want to use that strong word to get in my usage of that word for the channel. So,
well,
he expects
a tissue issue where? Leg, abdomen?
Yeah, it's in his leg. It's in his leg. So he expects Luther Burden to be back for training camp, but he's, again, using the word frustrated. He wants everybody on the same page, and you're not here at least for a first year player. This is going to set you back a little bit. Colson Loveland, the Bears' first round draft pick, he's also been hurt, but he did show up this week, and he's been running some good routes. They're liking what they're seeing out of him. I know June isn't here. He's the Michigan fan. He would probably echo those same sentiments that Colson Loveland is a huge addition to any offense that wants to put the ball in the air, to the big guy. Elsewhere for the Bears standouts during camp, Joel Wilson, he's a tight end. He's been turning heads, but we've seen this already. We've seen this before. Unknown players turning heads in camp and training camp and preseason. Like, hey, could this be a diamond in the rough? I'm gonna just pump the brakes early. Joel Wilson, he's having a nice OTA so far. Let me just keep it there. Javon Dexter, on the other hand, he was a Bears, I believe, second round draft pick from 2 seasons ago. There's a lot of excitement going around the building for how he fits in Dennis Allen's scheme. They're saying he is a perfect one technique for this scheme. So I want to temper expectations. I don't want to say he's going to be a breakout season, but I'm circling his name for a guy that I want to be involved in a lot of plays come week 12. Corey Wooten, if you know, you know. So that's pretty much it. Ozzie Trapilo, the Bears drafted him in the 3rd round this year. He's a tackle. He's still getting a lot of praise, and there's thought that he might even challenge for the number 1 spot if Braxton Jones isn't ready come camp. So that's pretty much going on right now. Also, the Bears are going to have cross practices with the Dolphins and the Bills in August. So that's where we're at right now for the Bears mini camp report. Those are 3 of the 4 teams in the division. Let's talk about the 4th. And the biggest news out of Green Bay is that they cut Jaire Alexander. Now, fellas, I don't know if you remember last offseason, we talked about who's the best players on each of our respective teams. And we all came to an agreement that Jaire Alexander is one of the best players in the division and the best player on their team. Now, fast forward 12 months, they're saying their best player. They might say they're okay without him, but in my opinion, you lose your quote unquote best player, your team is going to be worse off, right? That's not to say that there might be some cancerous issues off the field that we don't see that might apply to that, and there's been some reports that there is some reasons to believe that, but I'm not going to go that far, at least not right now. The question I have for you guys, now that Jaire Alexander is available, would you all like your team to take a shot at him?
We talked about it on the Real Forno. Tyler is very pro Jaire Alexander. There is the advantage of a former Packer coming to the Minnesota Vikings with the revenge angle. They all seem to want to play against Green Bay the following year and absolutely beat on them. And they do, whether it be Zadarius Smith or Aaron Rodgers last year, or not Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones last year. And we've got a history of Packers to the Vikings pipeline. Now, I worry about, he seems like Marcus Davenport, the cornerback version. He's always hurt. He's played less than half of, available snaps because he's hurt. And then there's the whole locker room thing. Does he break up the good thing that's going in Minnesota, the culture? Does he go against the culture that KOC and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has established in Minnesota? Could he do that? If he doesn't, okay, fine. Sign him to a 1-year prove-it deal. Less than $10 million. I'm hearing him probably go for like 4.5, which is fine. Prove it. It's a heck of a lot less than he was making. He was making top 5 cornerback in the league money. Now, he'll still get paid because he gets all the guarantees from Green Bay. But there's a reason Green Bay got rid of him, and there's a reason there was the angst there. And if I had my druthers, if I'm going to go outside and get this corner that wants to move, I'd rather wait till Miami drops Jalen Ramsey and go after him, even though he's slightly older. The deal with the kid from Green Bay is he's 28. He should be in his prime. He should be locking people down. Alexander should be the talk of the NFL. And yet injuries and attitude seem to keep him off the field. That sends up red flags for me. So I would say no.
I remember one time, I don't know if it was last season or the season before last, that he got suspended just for not knowing the procedures of the coin flip. And for a captain of the football team, if you go out there for a coin flip and you tell the refs, I'm going to defer, and the refs got to remind you, like you know what you're saying, right? And you get suspended for that, for conduct detrimental to the team. That tells me a lot just from that instance. So, Dave, there is a lot of unseen issues going on with him. He's a fantastic football player when he's healthy, but you saw what the general manager said. We're used to playing without you, bro. We'll save the money.
And then there's the whole Jaire Alexander Justin Jefferson thing. He's always talks back against Justin Jefferson, and Justin Jefferson has put him in the dirt over the years, to the fact that every time, I want to say just about every time we played in the last couple of years, he was a no-show to the games. He would, I'm hurt, sorry, can't play. Even Jordan Addison, his rookie season, blew the pants off him. There's something that isn't optimum for a player coming to Minnesota and that type of player. Now, like I said, if he 1 year prove it deal and whole motivation to take it to Green Bay, okay, I'm cool. But I mean, we have corners. Yeah, it may be our weakest depth spot, but we have corners. So, like I said, Dave says it's a no for the Minnesota Vikings. But doesn't mean anything. We'll find out. I'm curious if Foster could use an extra corner. You can never have enough.
Right, yeah. You can never have enough, guys. As much as I would love to see how Terrion Arnold would play in the slot and be able to put DJ Reed and Alexander on the outside, long term, I think it would be fiscally irresponsible, just because we've already started to divvy out our extensions, and we have, speaking of captains, we already have a guy in Alexander Zaloni who's probably kind of getting shorted just off the strength that he's a little bit older. But he is the defensive captain. He pretty much put his health on the line to come back last year, and putting that cast around his broken forearm. And we're not exactly rich as far as linebackers are concerned. We're not exactly so well versed in that in that regard. So I think that there's definitely better ways that we could distribute our money, knowing that he's going to want that extension long term. And I like the way our secondary, I mean, obviously it's got to all play out, and we got to see what they look like in the regular season. But I mean, I like the idea of a progression from Terrion Arnold, DJ Reed taking over for Carlton Davis, and then Ennis Rekestraw getting that opportunity. Well, Meek Robertson, who held down the nickelback role last year, but also Ennis Rekestraw taking that, actually being able to be on the field and showing what he can do, because he was a former second round pick that had a good camp and preseason prior to his injury. So, and then we got Avonte Maddox and Rocky Ya-Sin as well. We got a lot of depth at the cornerback position already.
So that's a no for you. I'm going to make it 3 strikes. No for me, dog. We talked about it on the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel as well, Dave. I had posited that the Bears could use him as a safety. If he's willing to do what Charles Woodson did, go to safety, it's about the same point in their career. Move to safety, maybe we can do him, because we're deep in the secondary. We only have a need at safety right now, and that's more for moving forward. Right now, this season, we're good. But then my co-host Q, shout out to him, he reminded me that Packers coming to Chicago ain't a good look. All my Bears fans remember this name, Lucas Patrick, former Packer. How did you like that? Not so much, right? Robert Tonyan, how about that? Nope. I think everybody in the divisions had him on the squad, and he's been brutal. Who else? Mercedes Lewis, get him up out of here. No more Packers are allowed in Chicago.
Whereas we've had mixed success with ours when they come to Minnesota. We've had about half of them do really well, and then the other half go, what? Why'd we do that?
I mean, Mercedes Lewis was how old? Isn't he 40? Still playing in the league right now?
Well, there's nothing wrong with 40-year-olds there, Foster, but he is. But you're right. He should not be. But you're right.
Smith too, right? Didn't he play for?
He is a former Packer. You're right. Maybe you all can do him. You guys are a little bit north. Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan. You guys can do the symbiotic Packer thing. Down here in Chicago, not doing it. Stay away from us. Let's take this break real fast and let's talk about the schedule coming up.
Need a Garrett's popcorn break.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Not all EVs are created equal. The Ioniq 9 sets a new standard. Hyundai's first all-electric EV with 3 rows. Space in an EV. Finally. Plus, with over 300 miles of range, ultra-fast charging capability, and tech infused with safety features, this isn't just space. It's freedom reimagined. More room, more possibilities. Learn more about the Ioniq 9 at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
What is Garrett's popcorn? I've never heard of it.
Yes. That would have caught you an automatic fail in Jeopardy there, Dave. What is Garrett's popcorn? That is the premier popcorn in Chicago. I mean, there's some better, but that is the name. You'll see them, and you'll see them popping around a lot of other places. But the gourmet popcorn shop in Chicago, those who know, they know. But
I'm there. I got to try something.
Like I said, right on. Yes, you do. You have not lived until you had a mix. Chicago mix will change your life. Fellas, let's talk about the schedule. So I know we all got that game in which we play the Steelers circled, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. What week is that for you, Dave?
It is week 4, September 28th in Dublin, Ireland, where the Steelers, representing the Irish, take on the Minnesota Vikings, who formed and started the city of Dublin about 800 years ago in a battle of the history. And we will see how that goes. Minnesota is undefeated overseas. Steelers' record overseas, it's pretty pathetic. On top of that, it will be the second year in a row your Minnesota Vikings get to defeat Aaron Rodgers, and it will be glorious as the purple reigns over in Dublin. Some great beer and some great football.
Only on one sideline, maybe. Can't speak for the Aaron Rodgers led team. What week is that you all play the Steelers?
Week 16. So we'll be playing against Mason Rudolph because Aaron Rodgers will have inevitably packed it in for the year by that point.
I appreciate the lead up there, Foster, because you're correct. Aaron Rodgers won't make it to week 16 because week 12 is his last game in the NFL.
Hey, there you go.
You've heard it here first. Week 12 is when Aaron Rodgers' career comes to an abrupt end, just like when Brett Favre made his way back to the Midwest to play football, and he came back to the NFC North, and he, unfortunately for your team, Dave, he ran up against those Bears, and Corey Wooten had something for him, put him into the dirt after getting, and he was never heard from again.
Concrete covered by turf is what he did.
Yes, he did. And then you didn't hear from him again until he went to Mississippi and did some other stuff. Aaron Rodgers, week 12, defensive lineman for the Bears. Maybe Javon Dexter, maybe Dial, maybe Marquis is definitely going to be a funeral procession for his football career. It's over. He's a newly married man. We're going to do him a solid. We're going to send you on to your honeymoon in style. We're going to put you on a cruise right there in Lake Michigan and send you on your way to never be heard of again.
On the SS Fitzgerald?
We put him, no, not the SS Fitzgerald. We put him on the SS Caleb Kicked Your Ass.
The Bears.
He isn't the only quarterback that got married this offseason. I saw the Bills today.
Oh, yeah.
And he's sporting a new ring.
Yeah, Josh Allen, reigning MVP. He did marry Hailey Steinfeld.
Yeah.
Am I saying that name right? But in any case, all right, that's enough about the The Steelers. We got a whole division we'll talk about.
Who Aaron married other than Mrs. Rogers?
No, he's purposely keeping that secret. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want that news out there yet. So good for him. I mean, I'm with that. Last year, the NFC North was said to be the best division in all of baseball, all of football, right? But guys, to be clear, I mean, just for transparency reasons, the NFC North did play the AFC South and the NFC West. And if I'm going to be brutally honest, those 8 teams in those divisions are cheeks.
The majority of them are, yes.
Majority of those 8 teams were cheeks. The worst kind of cheeks, like in this type of weather, sweaty cheeks. That's what they are.
They make powders and creams.
The draw. Nice try, Diddy.
Being years in Kuwait, Iraq, and Afghanistan, they do.
The draw this year for the NFC North is the AFC North and the NFC East. It's going to be a lot tougher for us to hold that crown as the best division in football. Got obviously the defending Super Bowl champion in the NFC East, the 2 best quarterbacks in the league, Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, 2 best running backs in the league, Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, 4 of the top 10-ish defensive players in the league, maybe give or take, right? First things first, what do you all think about the NFC East as a whole?
Commanders and Eagles, we know them to be pretty good teams. Normally, the Cowboys are a team that had the high expectations and then let themselves down. But I don't even think the Cowboys have those type of expectations this year. And then the G-Men are probably going to have a good defense, but probably 0 offense. So it's
hey, they got Fields, don't they? At the quarterback? Who did the Lions pick up? It was an old.
You talking about the Giants?
Or the Giants, yeah. Who did the Giants pick up as quarterback?
Oh, Wilson, right?
He's with the Jets.
No, then it's Fields.
Yeah, Russell Wilson, and they drafted a quarterback.
That Dart.
Justin Fields with the Jets.
Okay.
Right.
Both New York teams gonna stink.
Facts.
And we'll see about the Commanders. The Commanders were good last year, but we'll see if they don't have that little sophomore slump or if they can keep that going. I think they kind of creeped up on a lot of teams, possibly. I'm hoping so.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's watching film on them this year because they did creep up on everybody. Nobody expected that out of the Washington football team, the Commanders. But hey, NFC East.
No, but
shouldn't be that difficult because they got the Cowboys and the Giants in there at 50-50. All right. If we lose to the Commanders and the Eagles, that may be expected, but I wouldn't expect to lose to the Cowboys or the Giants. And I'm not expecting for the Vikings to lose to any of the 4 teams. It's going to be close, and it's going to be hard-fought battles. But if I had to, it's probably the Eagles and the Commanders. For the NFC East, Dallas is going to go in there all high and mighty, and they're going to look great in September, and then they're going to look like trash come December. So, as it always happens, has happened for the last, since they won the Super Bowl? It's been forever. We've gone through quite a few coaches since then. And we haven't traded them for Herschel Walker since then. So,
Jif peanut butter. It's that jiffing good, it doesn't really need advertising. So instead, enjoy the calming sounds of the ocean. Jif. It's that jiffing good. Get your Jif at Jif.com.
It happens.
I think Michael Parsons is going to have he's going to have a resurgent year. So I think we need to got to be careful about it. I didn't add him in that 10. I didn't add him in that top 10 players. So I might need to fix that.
T-Bass, who's one of my viewers, says, Cowboys are going to be a lot better this year. They may be, T-Bass, but I don't think they're going to be better against us. Maybe let them be better against Chicago. Let them be better against Green Bay. Let them be better against the Lions. But against us, really? No.
Dak is still Dak. And do they have a running back? Is Ezekiel Elliott still cosplaying as a real running back?
No, that's tough, Foster. That was tough.
Ezekiel Elliott was good. He's good now.
I mean, no, he's washed.
As a good running back, I said. Yeah, okay.
Right. Up Pickens on Dallas is going to be a difference maker. We'll see. T-Bass. Hopefully not.
No.
What? No,
George Pickens is not a difference maker. He's not a difference maker. At all.
At all?
At all. He's not a difference maker. He doesn't move the needle. He's a cool, he runs a great 2 routes.
I mean, they got Lamb. They don't have to. He doesn't have.
Oh yeah, no. CeeDee Lamb is the guy, but George Pickens doesn't make that offense any better. Dak is, like you said, Dak is still Dak. Dak is going to get the ball to the tight end an exorbitant amount of times. You're going to get the ball to CeeDee Lamb enough times for you to still put him in those top wide receiver conversations. George Pickens, just adding him is parsley.
Cool though. It sounds cool though.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds cool. Parsley on your pizza. Oh. That's a different take on it. Cool. Doesn't change it. It's still pizza.
That's some Chicago pizza stuff, probably.
Hey, you can go on Detroit or Chicago, either one. Or a good New York style. And I can chow New York style.
No such thing.
I love it when you pick it up and the meat juices and oils drip down your forearms.
God, slow down, Dave.
I know.
Slow down, Dave. Relax.
Just like what's going to happen when we beat the Giants.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
You can taste that, huh? Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. So what about the AFC North, though? So the AFC North had wore the crown for the best division for a while, right? You've got those Steelers that we talked about. You've got those Cleveland Browns that are, let's just call them, they're as good as their color and their team suggests. Cleveland Browns, but they do have Myles Garrett, one of the top 10 best defensive players in the league, but they don't have a quarterback. They have the Baltimore Ravens, who, again, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. 2 of the top 10 best defensive players in the league, in Kyle Hamilton and Roro, who's the Bears drafted and let walk for not enough. You got the Cincinnati Bengals, arguably the best wide receiver in the league, arguably the best quarterback in the league. It's gonna be tough. What do we think about that division?
It's a shame they have the Browns because you take that away and you got 3 very formidable teams at the top, because the Bengals really, if they had any defense, would have been in the playoffs. Hate to say it, but the Steelers are always at least okay. And then the Ravens, same kind of way. The Ravens are always pretty damn good no matter what. So yeah, the Browns are definitely pulling them down a little bit, but yeah, all in all, a pretty solid division right there.
But they got Shedeur Sanders. He's supposedly lighting up training camp.
I hope that they put the Browns on Hard Knocks, because I want to. If they still got 17 quarterbacks going into training camp, I want to see that. That's gonna be TV. It's gonna be good TV right there.
Well, it would be.
That'd be worth it. Yeah. Got to figure out that Hendrickson situation too, though. That's another thing.
If you pay your players.
Whoa. That's a touchy subject there, Dave.
I know for the Bengals it is.
Well, they
Rookies or veterans. Doesn't matter. They don't want to pay.
Wait, No, wasn't the other receiver not Chase, but the other guy get his bag?
He did.
Okay. Huh?
Yes. So yeah,
spending it on one side. They
like their receiver. They like their receivers in Cincinnati. You know, they're vroom, right?
But their defensive end is still waiting, and there's a rookie that's still disgruntled.
Oh. Isn't he on defense? Oh God.
How do we think the AFC North matches up with the NFC North? Like I said, we read off those teams, and we got all these guys in the comments pointing out certain things, certain flaws. Your boy T-Bass, he said the Browns will be better this year because they have a last place schedule. I don't know if he heard me when I said they don't have a quarterback, but
Shedeur Sanders.
They have a lot, but they have none at the same time. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, you know, what's the old adage in college football? If you have two quarterbacks, you have
none, right?
None. There you go. And they've got 17 of them. So they're, by my count, they're negative 10 on quarterbacks.
And Deshaun Watson came out and stood on the sideline and watched him play. I watched it. There was a clip of it on X this week, and I saw him come out. He hobbled out there, and he was watching Shedeur Sanders complete passes, which is interesting considering Shedeur Sanders was a 5th-round pick. And how many 5th-round picks have started and made anything of themselves in the NFL?
Probably not.
I mean, I would.
Well,
I would
Tom
say
Brady 6.
I would guess there's been a decent amount, but I don't know them by heart. I mean, it's an odd question there, Dave. It's tough. I had to do some research.
I had done some research when we had a 5th rounder, and we looked him up. It is not. It is the worst round to find a quarterback. Period. The worst. It's sub-zero for. There's been a handful that have started, but none of them that have done anything.
He's also a 5th rounder.
The worst round to find a quarterback.
I mean, he's also a 5th rounder that was projected to go in the first too. So,
well, also in however many years of drafting, does that make him an anomaly? Possibly, but you're asking for that wee low percentage that he steps up and does that. Will he? Who knows? Maybe Stefanski's getting in his ear and says, "Hey, dude, I love your dad, but you got to do it this way." Maybe so. Yet to be seen.
What do you think about the Ravens, though?
Ravens are going to be tough. Anytime Lamar Jackson, anytime you have a threat of a running quarterback is tough. It's tough. And
he's a bit more than just a running quarterback. I mean, he's dazzling as an athlete, right? But he
can run. What I'm saying is he's a good quarterback to start off with, and then add the running capability on top of that. And not just as I've used JJ McCarthy has the ability to run, but that's not his primary focus. He's not going to run. There's not going to be plays designed for him to run. Lamar Jackson, it's quite possible that, hey, they may run an option, but if so-and-so is not covered, he's taking the ball and he's boogieing. And that is so hard to defend against, and he's been so good at it. The Ravens are going to be tough, and they're a hard-nosed football team. The one thing known about the NFC Central, or the NFC Central, AFC North, is they are a tough black and blue, just like our division, lunch pail division.
It's the weather
of football. And we're talking the NFC North and the AFC North are both known for their physical football play. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot. I think it's going to be easier against the NFC East, with the exception of the Eagles and possibly the Commies. But it's a different style of football. It's more blue collar. Get your hands dirty. Get muddy. Get bloody. It's a battle.
It's a battle. Shout out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I missed those because you mentioned the NFC Central. I missed that easy December win, Dave.
Uh-huh. And I just saw a funny tweet the other day. I almost sent it to Foster. It took 53 years for the Detroit Lions to have more NFC Central / NFC North division titles than the Buccaneers.
That's messed up. Because how long they've been going for a while, right?
Yeah. Hey, but that's why we love
2004.
Detroit's always been the little brother in the division.
After Tampa Bay left, because they didn't belong.
Right. No.
You got the NFC North, the frozen division, and then there's Tampa Bay. Like, what are you doing?
It's hot ass.
Made no
Tampa.
sense.
Right. And there's the first 3 years they went through absolute garbage and didn't win squat. But then they got better.
Creamsicle jerseys.
And then we had to kick them out the division because we don't want that.
Yeah. It's NFL geography, which has always been a little bit screwed up.
And you can only do so much. Well, I mean, majority of every team in every league is presented on the east side of the Mississippi, right? So it's always going to be a little funky with the geography of the. Quick before we close up because we're getting close to that time. Out of the 8 games we play against that division, the NFC East and the AFC North, what's your team's overall record for the 8 games? Dave, let's go with you.
I say we lose to if I'm being realistic, we probably lose to the Eagles. We split with the Lions. Split with
NFC East and the AFC North.
NFC East.
Not division.
NFC East. We lose the Eagles. I'll call it that. And then AFC North. We sweep.
Walmart Business saves you time, money, and hassle, which means you can focus on what really matters, like putting the money you save back into what you do, spending more time training your team, filling orders, and finding new clients, anything and everything, right down to, oh, that's one, choosing the best hold music. Walmart Business. It's the Walmart you love, now for your business. Learn more at business.walmart.com.
Ooh.
The only one I'm worried about is Baltimore.
It's hot there, Dave.
But we sweep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, Foster. You're in the fire now, Foster. Hot seat. What's your record against the AFC North and the NFC East?
I see the Ravens game being a loss because we never beat running quarter. We struggle mightily with running quarterbacks. I think we get our revenge on the Commanders. Lose to Hurts and the Eagles. So I say, what does that make it? Probably 6-2. Not losing to the Browns, Cowboys, G-Men. Yeah, probably 6-2. And then
6-2.
And in reality, we probably lose to the Giants and beat both the Eagles and the Commanders. Who knows? But I'll say 6-2.
You got to remember, we play the toughest teams in both those divisions at U.S. Bank Stadium this year. Schedulers were nice to us in that respect.
Yeah, we got Baltimore, Washington, and the Eagles all on the road.
Oof.
And the Chiefs, which has nothing to do with those divisions, but that's kind of what
happens when you win the division.
Yeah, LA, we play LA in LA. Yeah, our home schedule is pretty cake. Cleveland, Tampa, New York, Pittsburgh, Dallas. Those are all at home. Those aren't even fun games to go to. I mean, I don't go to Lions games. It's too expensive.
Something's too expensive for you?
Unless I want to go by myself. And even then, it's like,
Oh, okay.
Yes,
It's
we gonna speak truth. When it's just me, we gonna speak truth. Yes.
Drop 10G and rent a suite and bring your friends.
So I was like, okay, yeah, that's what it is, Dave. If you got to bring the town, then yeah, it's too expensive at that point. But for him, he
just one would be nice, but it's like, damn.
Yeah. All right. So same question for me. I got the Bears going 5-3 out of those 8 games. So we're going 2-2 with the AFC North. We're not losing to the Giants. We're definitely not losing to the Cowboys, and we're not losing to the Commandos. The defending Super Bowl champs in Week 13 in their building. That's going to be tough. But so I'll take that L on that one. But 5-3. We got the Ravens and Bengals back-to-back weeks in their building. I already count those as 2 double losses. So, and we got the Commanders coming out of a bye week. We're coming out of a bye week. You'll see the Commanders. It's up. Another game that's circled. That game is up. That's a dub for us. 5-3.
Chicago or DC?
No, it's there.
It's there.
It's in DC. Don't matter. Don't care. It's a bye week. We come out of a bye week. We on the Jets. We come to stump out through your house. So I got Bears 5-3. Foster, you said 6-2 for your squad, and Dave, you said
5-1.
It's 6
or whatever.
Will
Will
as well.
The Eagles, and that's coming out of a bye.
You say you're sweeping the North.
Yeah, we're on the AFC North. Yeah, we're sweeping the North.
Got it.
Mark it down, folks. Vikings are better than you think. I could be just too optimistic. I like to call it like it is, but I also tint it with a little optimism, especially this time of year. And I think the Vikings are going to be better than people think. Why? Because I think that J.J. McCarthy's going to be better than people think. And we've got some depth this year. I love the way it's setting up.
All right, Dave. So you've pissed off a lot of AFC North people. Where can they come harass you at? Where can they find your channel when those games come around? Where can they catch you?
Well, first off, the host can find me over on Slack, and then everybody else can find me at Vikings First and Skull, both YouTube, any of your podcast aggregators. Just type in Viking First and Skull. First is 1ST, and sign Skull, SKOL. And you can also find us on Facebook, and of course, Fans First Sports Network. If you click on the Vikings fans, you'll find my writings over there. And any AFC North or NFC East content people that need to contact me, you can find me either at Facebook or over on X at Luft, Luft _Krieger, Krigare. You can find me there. And if those wondering why does Dave have a handle of Luft Krieger, because Luft Krieger in Norse means air warrior. And I've been at this game since 2.5 decades now when we used aliases, and mine was air warrior. And the Norse name for air warrior was Luft Krieger.
Shout out to the AOL name.
It was that time period, and actually a little bit before.
I'm not going to try to outdo that, but yeah, you can find us anywhere at Bleachers to Speakers. You can just Google us. We're on YouTube and all audio aggregators. There's some writing pieces over at FFSN as well, and you can catch me on IG at I think it's B Foster Child. I think it's B Foster Child pretty much everywhere.
That's our show for today, guys. Have a great Father's Day weekend, everyone. And last thing, I just want to tell everyone that's out there protesting, please be safe. Till next. Thanks for listening to this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Don't matter if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watch it on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all the guys from Chicago, we say three things. Bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.